Hey, what's up everybody? So welcome back to another episode of How to Fix Your Figuarts, and in episode 2, today we're taking a look at the one and only SH Figuarts Piccolo. Alright, so Piccolo, one of the most beloved Z fighters and also one of Figuarts' first releases in the line. Despite his decently sized fan base, he still hasn't received an upgrade. So now it pretty much goes without saying, we definitely need a 2.0 upgrade for this guy. I mean, you know it's bad when Yamcha has a brand new 2.0 box with him pretty much dead on the box, and Piccolo still has his old box over here. Come on, sorry Yamcha fans, I had to do it. Alright, so I think it goes without saying that one of the biggest reasons that we do need an update for this guy is the coloring. A lot of us, including myself, missed out on the STCC version of him, which featured the anime coloring, and we're stuck with the manga coloring. Now, for what it is, they did a pretty good job. No complaints there. It's just that I grew up with the anime, so to see Piccolo with mustard on his arms instead of, watermelon, it's a little strange to me. I mean, look at them side by side here. Not only is the anime coloring more familiar, but it's just that much more fresh. So my next biggest gripe with this figure is the articulation. If anything, it bothers me even more so than the fact that I don't have the anime coloring on this guy. I mean, he does feature the standard SH Figuarts articulation from the time he was released, but just take a look at this. If I'm trying to get this guy in a special beam cannon pose, I'd imagine most of the time when he's charging up, he has to be touching his forehead. But the thing is, there's never a perfect segment in which it perfectly touches. And I mean, it all depends on how you're posing him and the angle. Like, I mean, if you're looking from this way, it's fine. But if you're wanting to have him looking at the guy, he's charging the attack he's supposed to fire it at, it's a pain in the butt. Look, it shouldn't be this hard. He shouldn't have to look like he's trying to dislocate his shoulder in order to charge up his finishing move. I mean, that's kind of messed up. Another thing that hugely annoys me, the sleeves. They just don't do what they're supposed to do. They either fall off too easily, which you don't mind for some cases, right? For battle damage or whatnot, or Piccolo wanting to have his arm ripped off or something from Cell. But most of the time, you'd want to have your figure stay intact as you're messing around to pose it. Having it fall apart when you're just simply trying to pose it is something that takes away from the masterpiece the figure is supposed to be of the character. Now, unfortunately, our articulation problems don't end there. While I'm glad they threw in the inclusion of the turban and cape options, there's a whole slew of problems that come with it. First, you need to pop the head off to put the cape on, which I'm totally fine. However, that's where the problem starts. Once you have the cape on, these two pegs are a nightmare to deal with. These two pegs right here have probably given me the most trouble out of any Figuart in the line in terms of setting the figure up. Now, it does come with two different options here. One's for the crossed arms, in which you're not supposed to move the arms or else it will fall right off after spending 6 hours putting it on, and the other is for movement of the arms. What's more is the peg holes are actually slanted. Hopefully you can see it on camera there. So I'd say that this would give you more trouble for your time than trying to get 1.0 Scouter Vegeta's Scouter to stay on his face. Sometimes the best you can do is just to have the cape on Piccolo already and just try and slide this in there, like that. Now why not just forget that piece entirely? Does it really matter that much? Yes, it looks like the man's wearing a scarf without that thing. So I mean, if they're able to improve the articulation, especially with the cape, that would be a phenomenal improvement on Piccolo's 2.0 release. Furthermore, doing this would also give them an opportunity to play around with the sculpt of the cape himself. Now, one last thing about the cape, I realized what they were going for in terms of the hints of blue shading here, but seeing it compared to the 2.0 figures and the pristine white paint on those just makes this thing look kind of dated. Alright, so wrapping up for how else they can improve on the 2.0 is the faces. I mean, we've got decent ranges with these three right here, but I think it'd be hilarious if they included some kind of comical face. I mean, just for variety. You could use it with someone like Gotenks, Goku, Gohan, all the goals. Even something like a smirk would work out real nice. I also think we need a face that looks straight on, that's like this, as well as some karate chop hands. And the one accessory that they cannot skip for a 2.0 release is the inclusion of something for the special beam cannon. Now, it doesn't have to be a full spiral effect, but at least something that goes onto the special beam cannon hand, like lightning, so that you can actually see it charging. And lastly, one thing I'd really like to see them do is update the sculpt of the head to reflect the current artwork, such as we see in the most recent Dragon Ball Z movies, as well as Dragon Ball Super. So despite our need for a 2.0 release, they did do a couple of things right with this figure. First, the inclusion of crossed arms, definitely a must with a Piccolo, as well as the inclusion of a plethora of other accessories that create a wide variety of poses for us. One other thing that really surprised me was, and I'll use my buddy Yamcha here, is the sculpting of the chest. Take a look at Yamcha's, a 2.0 most recent release, and take a look at Piccolo's. There's just so much sculpt and detail in that one that it still impresses me over the 2.0. Good job on that one. And then lastly, another thing that impressed me was the scaling accuracy of these figures so early on in the line. Okay, so for why'd you do it, just a quick thing on this. Why did they choose to release the manga color versions? I believe that this is because there was nothing aside from Dragon Ball Z Kai keeping Dragon Ball relevant at the time to new fans, so Tamashii tried to appeal to their older audiences who may have grown up with the manga. Alright peeps, that's all I got for you in tonight's episode. As always, let me know in the comments below who you'd like to see on the next one. Till then, I hope the best of your todays are the worst of your tomorrows. Peace.